Hey everyone, so this is Rosewood, Season 2, Episode 5, and it's called Spirochete and Santeria. If I butchered that first one, that first word, then please correct me, but that's how it's pronounced. So basically, the episode starts off with a ritual or some sort, possibly, I assume it's a ritual. Considering that we're talking about Santeria here, and it's using the picture of this guy who we'll later meet. Um, but before we get to the guy that's in the picture, we see Rosie and Pippi going over the whole situation of Gerald and Donna, and Donna's lack of being logical about Gerald's case. Um, so Rosie asks Pippi to take a look since he can't find anything himself. Um, and so um, And when Pippi leaves with the case file, Rosie then, flirts with the waitress from a few episodes ago. Her name is Tanya. I completely forgot her name. I don't know if they even said her name a few episodes ago when they got back from New York, but I now know her name is Tanya. Anyway, so Krista, the receptionist, asks for relationship advice from Rosie when he comes in, but then the guy from the picture earlier, comes in and asks for Rosie to do his autopsy because he'll be dead in 24 hours. So, um, so he gives Rosie this briefcase full of money, and and then leaves before Rosie can get convince him that they need to call the police or have the police come in. Um, Via finds out the guy's name is uh well, no, because the guy says his name is Doug Russell, and so Via finds out that or when Rosie goes in to ask Via's help with about Doug, he meets Adrian Webb, who is the new ME, and then Rosie tries to get Via alone to talk. Um, but they keep interrupting him, and so he just comes out and says, um, the guy Doug came in with a briefcase full of money asking him to solve his murder when he's not dead yet. So Via, before Via can really find anything, Rosie's like it's all in his feelings about Via flirting with Adrian. And then Via, finds out that Doug has been filing complaints about everyone in his life, and it looks like he is a paranoid person. Rosie feels Doug is telling the truth. Slade is skeptical at first, but then Ara turns him around. Via and Rosie then go to the bakery where Doug works at. They find Doug dead in the back. Rosie then talks to Doug's sister. I don't think they ever mentioned her name, but if they did, sorry for not writing it down. She says, anyway, she says she isn't surprised about the money because he had started this tech company and sold it for millions. And uh, Doug was doing baking as a hobby because he was very passionate about it and everything. Um, Rosie then takes on the case for free and lets his sister keep the money. Um, and she feels someone flipped a switch on her happy-go-lucky brother and turned him into a neurotic one. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, if that's, I mean, I'm not really good disputer because I mean she doesn't have any history of lying. So that's what she says is true. That's what she said is true. Um, Adrian then comes to the lab to bring some paperwork over, but it's clear the only reason why he's there is to meet Via because that she was on her way there anyway. Um, Mitchie finds some sage on the back of Duck's left ear. The waitress Tanya then comes to give Rosie his jacket back because he left it there. Bad accident. Um, and before, when Rosie was talking to the waitress at the place she works at, um, she had declined going out on a date with him. When Tanya comes over to the lab to bring Rosie's jacket back, she agrees to a date. Via then goes to talk to Doug's ex, with Rosie, and his Doug's ex's name is Jillian. They've been divorced for about a year. Doug and his ex-wife Jillian practice Santeria. Jillian says she killed him by putting a spell, like putting one too many spells on him. Um, so Hornstock then questions Jillian, and while Hornstock's doing that, Slade reveals Doug left all his millions to Jillian. Um, but after Slade goes in to do help Hornstock with the interrogation, they don't really get anywhere. And so basically they then just kind of leave it at that. It looks like someone ran Doug over from behind with a car, because there's some license plate number. The part of the license plate was embedded into the back of Doug's left leg, I think they said. So they figure out the car belongs to a guy named Nick Holmes. So Via and Rosie go to question him, but Nick runs almost immediately, and Rosie is, when Nick goes into his car, Rosie's already in the back seat, and the car won't start. So they question Nick, and Nick says he pinned Doug against his car, and that created a blood clot, which traveled to his lung. But something really isn't sitting well with Rosie, and Rosie thinks it has something to do with the Santeria. But Doug's sister, reveals that Doug has been practicing Santeria with their grandfather since they were young. So really isn't that. Um, However, he still feels something is wrong, and he thinks something was put into him, or some disease, or like some like disease, or some form of like, I don't know, something was put into him, whether it was a disease or something else. Something was put into him, and that's what causes extra symptoms like the irritability, and I guess you could say paranoia. Um, Via and Hornstock go to a local Santeria store owned by Jillian. Find out she and this guy, named Hunter, are engaged. Uh, and Hunter owns a store next to Doug's Bakery. Um, he says that he didn't do anything, and diverts attention to several people who he thinks killed Doug. Specifically, a guy named Sammy who owns the bookstore next to Doug. Shifty Nick, I don't know what the fuck he does. He just says that the guy, like, Nick is shifty, and that's it. And Sally, who owns a food truck that she usually parks in front of um, Doug's Bakery. Um, Rosie and Pippi confront Donna then a little bit later, and she claims that she has wasted enough time on Daryl's case, but then she does a complete 180 and says that she hasn't given up on his case after all, because she figured that them being there was just I guess you could call an intervention. Um, and she thinks Pippi is content on condemning a man to life in prison when she hasn't even sat across from him yet and talked with Gerald. So she then walks out. We'll see more about that a little bit later. Via says it doesn't matter where any of the suspects were when Doug died, because Rosie thinks Doug died from a poison that was given to him months prior. Via then thinks Jillian gave Doug oleander, but turns out it really wasn't him. It wasn't the Oleander that killed Doug. Uh, because they figure that out because they take spinal fluid to test, and when they do the test, Rosie figures out who actually killed Doug and how. Hornstock gives Slade the envelope that is meant for Slade because it turns out that Slade's father passed away recently, like within the last like week or so, and that's why he's been acting so weird lately. Um, Hornstock advises Slade that he can't keep bottling up his emotions inside because eventually he's gonna, take it out, whether it's out on Hornstock and everyone else at work or in his personal life. Who knows? But Hornstock says don't keep it bottled up before he leaves. Rosie and Villa go to a party for Santeria followers. I don't want to say a party. I'd sooner say I don't want to say gathering either because it seems weird to say gathering. So I don't know, some sort of party slash gathering, something. I don't know. Pippi goes to visit Gerald, and so she asks for Gerald to tell her what he told her mother because um, when she leaves the prison, she would decide with Rosie or with Donna. Rosie and Via then tell the crowd that after Jillian and Doug divorced, Hunter realized that Doug was leaving Jillian millions and didn't really love Jillian, and was only after the money that she would inherit. Um, so they then, and Hunter had during a similar because they were doing a ceremony uh, um, for Santeria followers, and so they were doing the exact same ceremony that Doug was complaining about, and months prior, like over the course of the last few months, that's what Doug was complaining about. Was the same exact ceremony that Hunter and Jillian were doing in this particular scene, and that's when Hunter entered the months prior. That's when Hunter, introduced the I forget what um what toxin or disease that Hunter gave Doug, but it caused the irritability and paranoia and all that. So um, anyway, so they eventually arrest him, and the next day, Pippi reveals to Donna and Rosie that she thinks Gerald didn't do it. She says that Rosie's feelings for Donna are clouding his judgment for Gerald's case. Um, and on a date with later, after the whole situation, on his date with Tanya, Tanya reveals that she has a daughter and she's worried about Rosie just up and running or leaving after finding out that she has a daughter. But all he says is, "What is your daughter's name?" Damn, I meant to write down what her daughter's name was, but I completely forgot to do that. Um, Anyway, so Via then visits Adrian and they set a date, but Adrian is worried that there might be something between her and Rosie. But Via says that they're just good friends. Now that's the end of the whole episode. My whole thought, um, I mean, the case of the week was just the case of the week. I mean, I wasn't, I guess, that invested in the case of the week. All I really was really concerned about was Gerald's case. I was hoping that we would hear what Gerald told Donna that made Donna believe that Gerald is innocent. I wanted to personally hear that because I still don't believe that Gerald's innocent. There's nothing that to me that suggests I mean, there's nothing that we've been given, the audience has been given so far to make us believe that he's innocent. There's nothing. I mean, we haven't heard anything. I mean, I just, all we've heard him say is that I didn't do it. I don't think I did it. That's, I mean, or basically saying that in a roundabout way. That's all we've heard him say. So I don't necessarily think that he's innocent. I don't. I mean, I don't. I mean, there's nothing in it. There's nothing that I can feasibly think. Like, I just don't. I mean, they haven't given me anything to make me believe that Gerald's innocent. So I don't know if anybody else is feeling the same way or what, but I just, there's nothing that Gerald has said that makes me believe that he's innocent. And I was hoping that we would hear what he told Donna that would make her believe that he's innocent. I wanted to hear what he told her. And clearly he told the same thing to Pippi, because otherwise she wouldn't be on the bandwagon to supposedly be on the bandwagon to say that Gerald's innocent. So, and honestly, I'm not inclined to believe that she just all of a sudden believes Gerald now. I'm thinking the only reason why she switched over to being on on Donna's side and Gerald's side is because she wants to make sure her mother doesn't get hurt. And it's, I guess you could say, covertly trying to get all the information, trying to covertly get Gerald to say that he knows that he did it, but doesn't want Donna to know or something. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like I said, there's nothing that the writers and producers have showed us yet that makes me believe Gerald is innocent. I don't buy it just yet. So I'm gonna need more information. I'm gonna need something damning, basically, at this point, to make me believe that he's innocent. I'm gonna need it. I just don't think there's this big ass conspiracy that Gerald is innocent. I just don't. I mean, I don't believe it. I mean, I really don't believe it. I just don't think that there's really this big ass conspiracy to put Gerald in prison for a crime he didn't commit. I don't. I mean, normally by now, if that were the case, we'd have more information about. We'd have at least something that would corroborate that there, like, something like a small nugget or something that would corroborate that there's a big ass conspiracy that Joe is being put into prison for a crime he didn't commit, and so that he would take the fall for someone else. I mean, there would usually be some sort of nugget for that by now, but there isn't. So, which to me makes me think that Gerald's actually guilty of the crimes he's been accused of and in prison for. So I'm thinking that Gerald is taking Donna for a ride, and and everything, and I just think that that's all he's doing. I don't believe it this way. I just don't believe it. So I don't know. That's just me. And on that Gerald front, that whole front. Now, we've had a big focus on Rosie and Villa and their prospective love interests. Tanya for Rosie and Adrian for Villa. Now, I am thinking that Villa will do something stupid. I'm thinking she will do something stupid to make the relationship between Rosie and Tanya strained or something. She's gonna do something inadvertently stupid to make it strained. Well, maybe not. I mean, either inadvertently or knowingly, making the relationship strained, and therefore, it's gonna be her fault that they end things or something. I don't know. I mean, it kind of was like that in the first season with Rosie and can't remember the psychiatrist's name, but between Rosie and the psychiatrist, I mean, she kind of like, inadvertently did it. I mean, I understood where she was coming from. I mean, it was like that. I mean, that was her psychiatrist. I mean, that's kind of a conflict of interest. I mean, I can understand that, but I mean, but I think something like that's gonna happen again between, or somehow, some way, either Rosie's gonna interfere with Adrian and Via's relationship, or Via's gonna end up interfering with Rosie and Tanya's relationship. Um, I think that's gonna happen. One of those two is gonna happen because I mean, I don't see like the two having separate relationships or romantic relationships. Um, I think sooner or later they're gonna come back together and like try to try to have another go at their romantic relationship. I don't know. I'm still kind of hoping for that because I'm kind of hoping for those two to kind of get back together. But maybe I'm a masochist. I don't know. But somewhere along the line, actually, you know what? I I'm gonna say this as for a long term prediction. I'm thinking there's something wrong with Adrian because there's like I'm thinking there's some like secret hidden knowledge about Adrian that Via doesn't know, and he's like some like rapist or serial killer or uh just I don't know, something like bad with Adrian, because I don't honestly believe that it's a coincidence that he just all of a sudden pops up out of nowhere as a new Emmy. I don't think so. I mean, I think there's something like seriously bad, seriously bad and wrong with Adrian, and that he's gonna try to hurt Bia, and so I think that's gonna happen, and maybe that's just the dark side of me coming out or something. But that's I'm gonna say that as a long term prediction that something just isn't right about Adrian, because I mean he just pops up out of nowhere, and we haven't had any forewarning that this guy was coming. At least I don't remember having this forewarning that this new Emmy was gonna come in. I haven't heard anything about that before. So I'm thinking that that Adrian is into some serial killer shit or some rapist sort of crap, and like sexually assaulting women or something. I don't know. Like something sinister is happening. Like something sinister is with Adrian, because I out of the blue he comes up, like I don't know. I mean, Mitchie kind of did the sort that kind of did that as well at the end of last season, but I mean, Mitchie was just kind of eccentric in my opinion. He's just kind of eccentric and or however fuck you pronounce that word. Anyway, he's just kind of a little weird, but it's in a good way. If you kind of, I guess you could say, I don't know, but I mean, it's just a little bit different. I mean, slightly different, but I mean, for the most part, I sensed that Mitchie was a good person, so, and he had good intentions. Adrian, on the other hand, no, I ain't feeling him. I really don't think that I really don't think that he is a good person. I don't think he has good intentions for Via, at all, and that's gonna come up, some throughout the entire season, possibly the entire season. But who knows? It might not just be until just after the winter break. Who knows? But someone may write about Adrian. I'm telling you that right now. I'm telling you that right now. Okay, so now next week's episode has Rosie teaching a class. Like teaching a class, not um, a class the entire semester in college for it looks like med students, and it's I guess like he's teaching them on the case of the week, whatever that is, possibly just a dead body that rolled through his lab. I don't know, Either way, he's teaching I get what looks like med students on autopsy and pathology, um, and all that. So, um, it's I mean, so far we haven't seen any, like, as far as the ooh, birdie. Sorry, got sidetracked. Anyway, so far we haven't seen anything as far as like um, what the case of the week is supposed to be next week. Who knows? We'll see what it's all about. And that's pretty much all there is for next week. I mean, I can't really make any predictions for next week, so that's why I did long-term predictions instead of weekly predictions. So we'll see. Um, and I will see you guys next week for Rosie, or Rosewood, not Rosie. Um, although Rosie is pretty good looking. Love Morris Chestnut. I've seen quite a few of his films. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So I will see you guys next week on Rosewood, and I will see you on Monday for um, Elementary. Bye.